What's up, ladies and gents? This is KSigKid coming at you with another Destiny video. Today we're going to talk about the Crucible, some changes that are coming to the Crucible, and some rewards that sound absolutely amazing, and this is all dealing with the Age of Triumph that's coming out in just about a week. But before we get to all of that, we've got our sub-like comment of the day from the Big JX. He is loving himself some of those necrochasm explosions. I agree for sure. So it looks like the weekly Bungie update came out on Friday, and I totally missed it. I just totally missed it. And I was just going online, and I happened to see it today, and whenever I was reading over it, I was like, wow, there are some really interesting things in here. There are definitely going to be some changes that fundamentally change the way that we play Crucible, just normal Crucible. So we'll get into that in a second. And also, Bungie keeps mentioning that the Age of Triumph is going to be amazingly rewarding. Amazingly rewarding. And whenever we talk about these Crucible rewards, we'll see that I think that they're actually probably right. I think that they're right and on the right track, and I am loving it. I'm loving the way that they're going to be sending off Destiny 1. But first off, let's take a look right here. This is a screenshot of our current Crucible Director. You can see all of the different game modes that we get to play each week, all of the different options we have, from our top activities to our middle weekly activities, all the way down to private matches and then the classic game modes. Well, whenever Age of Triumph comes out, it's actually going to change up just a little bit. Instead of having all of those activities up there, we're going to be set with five activities in the middle and one rotating activity up top. That's it. So yeah, that's a little bit of craziness. That's a little bit of a change up. That's what I'm talking about. This game mode basically changing up the way that we end up playing the Crucible. It is definitely different. A different experience. And I understand the reason why. So basically, Bungie wants to consolidate the player base into the Crucible. They want people to be playing the same activities. So one, it's easier to do matchmaking. And two, whenever they're doing the matchmaking for connections, it's easier to go ahead and find those people and get those together. I understand that. That is actually an improvement and a smart improvement in the game. Now the problem is, unfortunately, as you could see by the rotating stuff, you're not going to have the same weekly activities each and every week. That means you might not have Control one week. You might not have Clash one week. And those to me are pretty much my go-to if I want to jump into the Crucible and get any clips for weapon videos or whatnot. They're pretty much my go-to game modes that I go into, and those are the ones that I think are the easiest and simplest to just jump into and not really think too much about. But those aren't always going to be there. So you're going to have to watch out. You're going to be playing some more Rift. You're going to be playing some more Supremacy. And not only Rift and Supremacy, but you're going to be playing some more Zone Control, which is definitely something different. I don't feel like a lot of people ever play Zone Control. So I feel like this is the most controversial of everything. But I really want to hear your opinion. What do you think about not always having your favorite Crucible mode just out there and available for you to play? What do you think about that? Now moving on. So in our Bungie live stream, we saw that Shaxx, he ended up having 2 weekly Shaxx bounties instead of 1 that we have right now. But they're also mentioning that Shaxx is going to have a weekly bounty for each and every 6v6 game mode that's available each week. So does that mean that we're always going to have 2? Does that mean sometimes we might have 1? Does that mean sometimes we might have 3? That I don't know. They didn't specifically mention that. They just said that Shaxx was going to have a weekly bounty for every 6v6 game mode. So I would assume if you're allowed to have multiple 6v6 game modes, meaning 3 of them, or maybe even 4, but I highly doubt there would be 4. I would assume that maybe we could complete that bounty multiple times per week, maybe even up to 3 times. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But something else that's coming back, and this has me really excited. So the Crucible Quartermaster, who sits right across from Shaxx, he used to have bounties. And those bounties had the same icon as the Shaxx weekly bounties. A lot of people forgot about those throughout pretty much the entirety of year 2. But there's actually a pretty good reason for that. So like I mentioned, these had the exact same bounty icon as the Shaxx weekly bounties. And whenever I saw them, I thought to myself, wow, yes, this is great. I can go ahead and pick these up, I can go into Crucible, use these different weapons, and then I can go ahead and get extra chances at Shaxx weekly rewards. That would make for a great video, great tips for players to go ahead and get maximum light level gear or extra exotic chances, whatever the case may be. So I picked those up, you had to do something like 6 or 9 kills with a specific primary weapon multiple times in multiple games, which can be difficult because if you have to pick up auto rifles and you're really not a fan of auto rifles or good with auto rifles, because auto rifles definitely aren't the meta, it's going to be really tricky to get 6 or 9 kills in a single match and then have to do that multiple times, and then you go ahead and turn that in, and whenever you do, it's just like any daily normal Crucible bounty. So there was really no incentive to go ahead and pick those up because the daily Crucible bounties were significantly easier. Not like these were the most difficult thing in the world, but they were definitely a little bit more time consuming, and the rewards definitely were not on par with the extra time you would have to put in for that. So people just ignored them. Now they're gone. Now they're coming back, and they are going to be amazing. So, if I'm reading this correctly, if I'm reading what Bungie says correctly, pick up these Crucible Quartermaster bounties. Pick those up and do them, because what they're saying they're going to give you is the chance at Crucible gear, the chance at Iron Banner gear from year 2 and year 3, and the chance at Trials of Osiris gear from year 2 and year 3. Holy crap, that is awesome. Now obviously that's hold our horses. You're not going to be getting Adept Trials of Osiris gear from this. I would almost guarantee that. And I also know that Trials of Osiris players are probably, not all of them, I shouldn't say that. Some Trials of Osiris players are probably pretty salty about that, because they're saying, why in the world would people be able to get Trials of Osiris gear from not even playing Trials of Osiris? That means people aren't even going to go ahead into the Trials of Osiris and play it. There's going to be less players in there. Some of that might be true. Some of that might actually be true. I mean, I really want to go ahead and get that counterbalance doctrine. I actually like the non-adept version. I have an adept version. It is not counterbalanced, but I actually like the yellow skin on it. So I don't really care if I get a non-adept version of the doctrine. But I can also get year 3 Trials gear, and I really haven't played Trials at all in year 3, because I know Trials just isn't for me. I'm not any good in Trials. I'm okay in normal Crucible, I'm fine in the Iron Banner, but for Trials, for some reason, that game mode, it just doesn't play to the way that I play. So it's a struggle, it's frustrating, and I don't typically play it. I don't imagine a lot of people play things that they're typically not good at or that frustrate them. So this to me is amazing, because I can go ahead over to the Crucible Quartermaster, I can pick up a bounty, I can go into matches and get 6 or 9 hand cannon kills in a couple matches, turn that in, and hopefully get myself a Blind Perdition, a Doctrine of Passing, whatever the case may be. I love it. We talked about Bungie making this Age of Triumph more rewarding to players. That's what this is. This is the best and most rewarding stuff that we have ever had, for sure. I'm really looking forward to that. And don't forget, we're talking about Iron Banner gear as well, and not the Iron Banner gear that's around right now, because I don't really like that much, but we could go back and get some Ash Raven's Flight, some Finala's Perils maybe, things that you can't get in the game anymore. I like this a lot. I'm really curious, what do you think about those drops, those drop chances? Obviously, you could get the normal Crucible drops, you could get an Ice Luna, but I'm really looking forward to the Iron Banner gear, and I'm really looking forward to the Trials of Osiris gear. That's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to that. That just gives me more reason to jump into the Crucible each and every week. Anyway, guys and gals, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, smack that like button and subscribe to the channel. Check out these awesome videos. Good luck with your raids, your drops, your Age of Triumph, and I'll see you around in Destiny. #LootSplosion.